What does trance music mean to you? Trance music to me is something that has affected my life a lot. Started listening when I was really young, my early teens. Affected how I socialised, what friends I made. A lot of my friends now I met at Gatecrasher in Sheffield when I used to go through every week to go clubbing in what was the Republic. It's shaped virtually every part of my life from that point. I became a producer and a DJ, and it has really affected everything that I've done. So it means a lot to me because I base so many decisions around that music because I've loved it so much. The world is about to end and you are organising the last ever party. Which DJs would you book to play? Good question. I think I would go for a good kind of representation of the perfect night that I would go for at as I was growing up. Really, to go back to Gatecrasher again, it's the place that held so many memories, just like people further down south maybe they went to God's Kitchen a lot, and it kind of held that kind of position for them. I think I would go for a breakbeat warm-up, kind of progressive and breakbeat warm-up. Ashton Cassell was really good at Gatecrasher, always really good opening, also known as Ash Tracks. So for those people who know the music from that time, he was known as Ash Tracks as well. I'd probably do somebody like John 00 Fleming after that, taking it kind of into really nice progressive but still melodic stuff, then going, I would have to go for certain people from what they used to play. So Paul van Dyk from 2000 to 2004 kind of time was really, really top notch for me. So it would be a headline set from Van Dyk from that time, and a good kind of 4-hour set from him, and then probably finishing off with someone like Mauro Picotto. His techno sets were fantastic from that time. All the old BXR Picotto stuff. I think if it was the last ever gig, I would want to kind of try and remember that point in music, because that's the point where it affected the decisions that I made. So I would try and capture that again. What is your greatest fear? Not being able to hear the music that I like. If anything happened to my hearing, I take a lot of care of that now. I wasn't quite so careful a few years ago when I was younger. And wouldn't really look after my hearing with any kind of hearing protection, so there's a little bit of tinnitus now and a little bit of issue kind of now and again, but try to look after it now and make sure that I can hear for a long time to come. Yeah, losing my hearing would not be good. What is your earliest memory? My oldest memory is being in the first house that I remember, which is a bungalow on the outskirts of York, and I had this big kind of plastic plane. I have no idea how old I was, but I can remember running into the back garden and going, "Hey Mum, what's this?" And literally just throwing myself forward and doing a crazy kind of forward flip. Quite why I thought that was a good idea, I'll never know. But I must have been 4 or 5 or something like that. My memory's pretty terrible in general, so that might be a bit old compared to most people, but yeah, that's the earliest thing I can remember. Have you ever said "I love you" and not meant it? No. What is your guiltiest pleasure? It's got to be synths. It's got to be music technology, synths. I basically put nearly all of my money into studio equipment and things like that. So yeah, if I can get some nice bit of equipment that I think will benefit me, then yeah, I'll kind of go for it. What's your all-time favourite movie? I think it would have to be Lost Boys. Great film from late 80s, I think, or Kiefer Sutherland and the two Coreys from that time, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Great kind of vampire movie. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change? Social media. No. What would I change? I think I would just try and slow everything down. It'd be good for things to kind of chill out a little bit. What is the most important lesson life has taught you? I think life has taught me that I need to relax a bit more and just try and be happy with what I want to do and not get caught up in a kind of competition and race that ends up being detrimental, I suppose. In a film about your life, who would play you? Well, I think this is kind of linked to the fact that I'm sure John Askew in videos, when I pop up on his videos and things like that, he tries to make me look like the kind of trance version of Carl Pilkington. So I think it would be him. I'd like to see that. Yeah. You're only allowed one alcoholic drink for the rest of your life. What do you choose? Spiced rum and coke. Relax and kind of sip away. Has to be freezing cold, obviously. If you were an animal, what would you be? Labrador. I like Labradors. They're a bit boring, but they get the job done. Which track from your back catalogue best defines your sound? End of Summer is one that I think a few people would pick, but it would probably be for the most part between Remember for me and This World. Although, yeah, End of Summer is quite close. When did you last cry and why? 13th of February, which is the birth of my daughter. If you weren't a DJ/producer, what would you be? I would be wanting to work for a company within the music industry doing something. I don't mind, I quite like being in the background, doing things, kind of not being in the spotlight, so anything from kind of working for a record label to doing what I'm doing, which is working for an audio company. I suppose it's, I'm kind of doing what I would do if I wasn't a full-time DJ and producer. What's your favourite country to travel in? I really like Holland in general. There's so much going on over there. Amsterdam's a great city. It's obviously a hub for trance music, dance music in general. It's kind of a meeting ground for so many people, and I just really like the country. When you get out into the surrounding kind of towns and things, it's a lovely place. Really like it. Top 3 trance tracks of all time. B1 Dead Cities. 3 Drives Grease 2000 has got to be in there. The original mix. Spectre Spectrum, which was released on Neo, is really up there. But then the Christian West mix of Nacious Flashpoint, either of his mixes, absolutely fantastic. So it's a hard third place. I think because there's 2 of them, and they're both so good, I'd probably go for Nacious Flashpoint, Christian West mixes in third place. What is the one thing coming up in your schedule that you're most excited about? Coming up in my schedule is a new project that is specifically made for vinyl, and it's specifically made for vinyl in that it's getting mastered for vinyl, and it'll primarily be a vinyl release. There's that kind of whole project to it. I've got back into vinyl recently. It's a great medium, a great format. It's good because you can get behind all the aspects, and when you actually have a physical product in your hand, it means a lot more than just seeing a file being released on the internet. So yeah, I think the vinyl releases that I've got coming up, which is a set of EPs. It was only going to be 1 at first, but like all projects that I do, they kind of cascade a little, and it's turned into 3, which is going to be 6 tracks, 3 2-track EPs. The first one hopefully out by the end of this year. Done the first track for it, and essentially they're going to be part of the set, which I'm kind of putting some effort into the graphic design as well, along with a designer that I know, and yeah, that's quite exciting for me. A final message for the dedicated trance fans on the Tranceportal. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support across Tranceportal. Thank you for your support of the artists that Tranceportal post about. Please keep supporting those artists. We're in kind of quite a strange time with this virus and kind of gigs for a lot of people just disappearing, and potentially months until really the whole thing kicks back off again. So thank you to everybody for that support, and hopefully we can see Tranceportal grow into a solid hub for all sorts of trance music. Cheers.